Hello everyone, Jeff here with you for episode number 13 of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz here on YouTube. It is great to be back with you, our first show in 2020 as both NXT and AEW were live for the first time since the December 18th episodes that aired on television. Let's get right into the action here. We'll start with AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite first. It took place from the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi, just a short drive out from Memphis, Tennessee. Our opening contest had Kenny Omega and Hangman Page of the Elite taking on Private Party here, and for this match, Dave Brown, the longtime voice of Mid-South Wrestling with Lance Russell and also a longtime meteorologist in the Memphis area, was out with the broadcast team for this match. I thought the match was fine here. They were continuing to tell the story of the miscommunications with Omega and Page throughout the match, though they did work better together here, and so much so towards the finish of the match here, they had hit their combination finishers, the One Wing Angel and the Buckshot. It looked like a pretty nice looking combo, and that got the win after Omega got the pin on Marquee Queen here. And then following the match here, we see Pac was shown on the big screen backstage with the Brutalizer locked in on Michael Nakazawa, and he wanted his rubber match against Kenny Omega, and Page told Omega to go back there and take care of business, and he just went into the crowd and drunk beer with the fans, so that was kind of interesting. Clearly, I think we are getting a Hangman Page heel turn. It's definitely coming. It's in the works, no question about it. But they got the win here in this opening tag team match. Next match on the card was for the AEW Women's Title, with Rio defending the AEW Women's Championship belt against Chris Statlander here. This was quite something else. Brandy Rhodes was out for commentary here for the match. And then during the match, as it was getting on here, the Nightmare Collective made their way down the ringside. They went right after Rio, but that Statlander made the save by attacking them in return. And then Rhodes made her way down the ringside. Statlander was getting ready to punch her, but we see someone come out from underneath the ring. It's this bald person that we had not seen. We had been seeing on television here recently in the vignettes with the Nightmare Collective. It turns out to be Dr. Luther, as we mentioned on the podcast a few weeks ago. Of course, best known for his work in Canada and Japan. He's a Japanese deathmatch wrestler by trade. He comes out from under the ring to stop Statlander from doing her thing. Ultimately, it was just a cluster here. The match comes to its conclusion when Awesome Kong helped trip up Chris Statlander to allow Rio to score the win on a roll-up to retain the title. Both Rio and Statlander are upset, not the way they wanted this to go. Rio did not want to win this way. After the match, Awesome Kong hit Statlander with a clothesline, and Rio tried to make the save, but she got manhandled before we see Akira Shida, who was ringside sitting next to Britt Baker, jumped the rail and chased them all off. So that's what we had here. The match with Rio and Statlander, it was okay. I thought it could have been better. It wasn't really I don't know. It's just the match itself was completely overbooked here. It really took away from the two women here in the match. I thought the chemistry was okay, but I thought this kind of failed to deliver, in my opinion. So it was not really a good look here. After we got a promo package with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, our next matchup had Sammy Guevara taking on Christopher Daniels here. The match is about an average match, nothing more, nothing less. Towards the end of the match here, Daniels got distracted by Pentagon Jr. up on the apron, up at the ramp there, daring him to hit an Arabian moonsault. Sammy Guevara was able to capitalize after getting dominated throughout most of the match, so Sammy Guevara got the win. Afterwards, the Dark Order came to the ring to confront Daniels. Evil Onu said that the AEW faithful have no faith in him anymore. Uno said he would make Daniels a part of the Dark Order. He offered him the mask. Daniels thought about it and then ultimately threw the mask down. We had a beatdown by the Dark Order on Daniels before Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian, that's of course the rest of SCU, and the Young Bucks all come out to make the save, and they take out the Dark Order to get some of their heat back from a few weeks ago when they got laid out by the Dark Order. So that's what we had there. Not really nothing more, nothing less. Next up, tag team competition, we had the Brothers Rhodes, that's Cody and Dustin. They teamed up to take on the Lucha Bros here, so team brothers against team brothers here. I thought this was a great match. Very solid stuff from all four guys here. exactly what you had here. Of course, Arn Anderson was at ringside once again in the corner of Cody Rhodes here. Good stuff here overall. Cody and Dustin win. Dustin wins for his team when he hit Ray Phoenix with this beautiful looking Canadian Destroyer, and ultimately hit the final reckoning for the pinfall win for the Rhodes brothers here. Afterwards, we see Tony Schiavone get into the ring. He was going to ask Cody about what MJF's stipulations were from last week. Arn Anderson cut him off, saying that, wondering why MJF had the stroke to make demands. Anderson said he would talk to Cody, and then they'll give an answer on next week's program, apparently. So, apparently, last week wasn't enough time. They needed more time here. So, kind of the bait and switch here. I had no problem with Cody and Dustin winning. This thing I get, though, Arn Anderson in the corner of Cody as the manager or the coach or whatever you want to call him. I don't know. I'm not really up on that. I haven't really warmed up to that yet. I know they've been doing it for just a couple weeks here, but I honestly don't know why you need Arn Anderson to be out there. I mean, he's fine. I think he's fine backstage as a producer. I kind of get why they have him out there, but I don't know. I haven't really warmed up to it yet. So we'll see. There's still time to maybe convince me, but right now I'm just not up on it right now. So that's what we had there. So afterwards, we get another one of the Memphis legends. We get Lanny Poffo, a.k.a. the Genius, formerly in WWF. He basically cuts a promo hyping up AEW, and of course, apparently there is a tribute that he does for, of course, his late, I think it's brother. I believe it's his brother. Yes, his brother, the late Macho Man Randy Savage, and of course their father, Angelo Poffo. Apparently that's going to be on AEW Dark, apparently. So they had hyped up all these Memphis legends, and this was pretty much what you had here. We had Dave Brown do the commentary in the opening match, and Lanny Poffo. They did show some of the legends in the crowd. I believe we saw the Rock and Roll Express. Of course, they're doing their thing in NWA right now. And I don't know, it's just kind of a bait and switch here is what I thought. So after all that, we had, I thought, one of the best things on the entire show. MJF was out for an in-ring promo. He said he would give Cody, because Cody, of course, was in the last match. He gave him until the count of 10 to come out and face him like a man. He doesn't do it. He just says Cody's just a little bitch before Diamond Dallas Page comes out of nowhere. His music hits. He comes out. He goes on to insult MJF before saying that he keeps getting asked if he'll come back for another match. While this is all going on, MJF was actually live tweeting during Diamond Dallas Page's promo here. Ultimately, MJF interrupts DDP before saying he didn't want to fight him, but then somebody else might, and that'd be the Butcher and the Blade. So they come out, of course, with the bunny. So we see them here after MJF insulted Diamond Dallas Page by talking about his daughters. He grabbed MJF by the throat before ultimately hitting some diamond cutters on both the Butcher and the Blade. And then he was getting ready to do a number on MJF. MJF was able to escape, and he was distracted with Warlord, and MJF came from behind, hit him with a low blow, took him to Bargain Basement Alley. Ultimately, QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes QT Marshall ran out and Dustin Rhodes hobbled out to make the save. And MJF and Warlord got out of there. My only question is here, where was Cody Rhodes in all this? We just saw him in the previous match, but yet Dustin Rhodes can hobble his way back out, but yet Cody Rhodes was nowhere to be found. I thought that was kind of interesting. You figure someone with the integrity and all that, if Cody would come out to make the save. I wonder if something might be in the works there, perhaps. It'd be very interesting to see what's going to be happening there. But yeah, no Cody Rhodes to be found anywhere, which I thought was kind of interesting. Next up, we had tag team competition here. We had six-man action. We had the Jungle Express, all three members this time, taking on Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. I thought this was okay for what it was. Everyone was pretty much over here. I mean, Orange Cassidy just continues to be treated like a rock star. He gets huge pops for everything that he did in the match here, of course. This guy's just over in every way possible. Everyone hit all their high spots. And ultimately, in the end, Jungle Boy actually got his first win on AEW television when he actually pinned Chuck Taylor with the Rana. So, nice stuff there. And it was announced that the Jungle Express will be facing Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz in 2 weeks on television. So, nice job there, and it really didn't hurt the best friends of Orange Cassidy here. So, I mean, everyone was pretty much over and they got all their stuff in, which was fine. Your closing segment for the show, Moxley was going to make his decision whether he's going to join the Inner Circle or not. So Moxley does come out. We see the Inner Circle out first. Then Moxley comes out. He names all the things that Jericho had offered in here leading up to this. He didn't want any of it. His quote was, "I didn't come to AEW because someone backed up a dump truck full of cash to my house." Of course, that's a wink and a nod shot at Vince McMahon. He goes on to say, "I can't be bought. I came to AEW to dominate, and that is why I say yes." So, we see Moxley take off the leather jacket to reveal the Inner Circle shirt. He puts over the Inner Circle for a while. They really wanted you to believe that Moxley was going to join the Inner Circle here. I thought, in all honesty, and of course he does get the keys to the 4GT, and that was one of the big things. The crowd actually, they fell for it. Here they chanted a "You Sold Out" chant, so they obviously did their job here. They hook, line, and sinker the fans. I thought this ran a little long. Obviously, this ran so long. We all knew that this was going to be a swerve in the end. And sure enough, Moxley, once he gets Jericho alone in the ring, pulls the swerve and says he was just kidding, and he called the Inner Circle, quote, "a stupid group." And then he basically smashes a bottle of Jericho's bubbly over his head before hitting a paradigm shift onto him, and then eventually onto Guevara before he ran out before Jake Hager could do anything. And then Moxley goes through the crowd, takes the shirt off and just slams it down and then celebrates with the crowd. There was this great shot of Jake Hager holding up a knocked out Chris Jericho. It was kind of a funny visual here. So that's how they went off the air, with the expected result of Moxley saying no. I will give him credit for trying to go the other way here. I just thought this segment ran a little longer than it should have, I thought. But we got the expected result in the end. I give him credit for trying, but I thought it just ran too long. So that was AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite that took place from the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi. Let's get on to NXT. It started off with new NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley. She was out for a promo here to begin the stuff here. She barely gets anything in. She was going to talk about what happened in 2019 at the end there when she won the NXT Women's Title. Toni Storm comes out to interrupt. Storm reminds Ripley that she's been there twice in NXT UK. And then she claims she's going to win the NXT UK Women's Title at the TakeOver Blackpool 2. And then they'll eventually meet at Worlds Collide, where she could maybe become the double champion. And then the whole conveyor belt line of promos come out from different people here. We get NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Ray to come out. She cuts a promo. Io Shirai cuts a promo. Bianca Belair cuts a promo. Candice LeRae cuts a promo. Everyone gets a promo. Rhea Ripley says she's there for a fight. We get a little melee before the action goes on. We ultimately get a 6-woman tag, which happens after a commercial. So we have Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and Candice LeRae taking on Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Kaylee Ray here in 6-woman tag action. I thought this was a good match. Good stuff here from all 6. They all got a chance, I thought, to shine. Towards the end here, things went bad for the heel team as Io Shirai was setting up for a moonsault to maybe win the match for her team. Bianca Belair decided to go into business for herself. She tagged herself in. Io Shirai didn't like that. She took out Bianca Belair with a missile dropkick and ultimately walked out. Rhea Ripley was able to take advantage for her team. She hit the Riptide onto Bianca Belair and got the 1, 2, 3. So, good stuff here. And Shayna Baszler was nowhere to be found here, which was kind of interesting. We got the first of 2 Tommaso Ciampa promos on the night. The first one here was a pre-taped package that Ciampa expressed how empty he is without the NXT title. And he told Adam Cole, "You took my life and I want my life back." Of course, referring to the NXT title. Our next matchup was a first-round matchup in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament. We had Imperium here, that's Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel, taking on the Forgotten Sons here. I thought this was okay. It was kind of about an average match to me here. Ultimately, Imperium wins after they hit a European bomb on the Wesley Blake for the win. So Imperium will face the winner of the Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne versus Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster match that will happen on next week's program. Afterwards, we had a post-match promo backstage from Matt Riddle, where he basically explained how the Bruiserweights was born. Of course, that's him and Pete Dunne. So this was kind of hilarious stuff here. You have to go and watch it. But overall, I thought the match was just about average. We had Austin Theory taking on Joaquin Wilde here. Austin Theory, of course, coming up from Evolve. Very young. I think he's in his early 20s. This was a short match. Both guys got a chance to shine. Ultimately, Austin Theory was able to score the win with a variation of the TKO. And so this is good stuff here. Both guys got a chance to shine. Didn't go long, but the right outcome with Austin Theory getting the win here. They had these promos here from the four guys leading up into the North American Championship #1 contenders match for the end of the show. Damian Priest had a promo here. It was not a good promo from him. I don't know what it was. It just didn't come off well. And every guy afterwards, before leading up to this, had a chance to cut a promo. But I thought Damian Priest's one here was not good at all. Just my opinion. Next match, we had another first round match in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament. And this was a great match. NXT Tag Team Champions, the Undisputed Era, took on NXT UK Tag Team Champions of Gallus. Great stuff here from all four guys. Each guy in the match got a chance to shine here. Let's get to the conclusion of the match here. It came down to Adam Cole coming out to interfere by connecting on the outside with a kick to the head of Wolfgang as he was draped over the middle rope, and then Bobby Fish was distracting the referee while that action was going on. This allowed Fish and Kyle O'Reilly to nail a variation of the high-low on the Wolfgang. Actually got the win for the NXT Tag Team Champions to beat the NXT UK Tag Team Champions. So they advance to the semifinals, where they'll face the winner of the Grizzled Young Veterans and taking on Kushida in a mystery partner, which we'll find out who that person will be here shortly. So good stuff here. Gallus will be defending their US NXT UK Tag Team titles at the TakeOver show this weekend in a four-way ladder match. They'll be taking on Imperium, the Grizzled Young Veterans, and Mark Andrew and Flash Morgan Webster. So that should be a great ladder match. And I will say I do not watch NXT UK on a regular, but I know it will be a great match. Johnny Gargano was out for a promo here. He says he's been waiting a long time to get back to a live microphone. He addresses Finn Balor here. He just goes in on him for a while. Ultimately, Finn Balor does come out, who suggested that Johnny Gargano should now be referred to as Johnny Promo. I thought that was a good line, because that's the only way he can be cleared these days. Balor called NXT his personal chessboard and told Johnny Gargano to go see William Regal about getting a one-on-one match at NXT TakeOver Portland, so if he can make it there. So obviously they're going to have that match in Portland, so that should be good stuff. Just good stuff here from Gargano and Finn Balor in this segment. So it was time to find out who Kushida's mystery partner will be for their match in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament. And sure enough, we do get reuniting here with longtime New Japan Pro Wrestling junior heavyweight and longtime wrestler himself, Alex Shelley. So they are reforming the Time Splitters tag team. I don't know how long it's going to last. They'll be making their NXT debut next week. So we'll see what happens there, as they will have that match against... It will be against the Grizzled Young Veterans next week in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament. Women's action was next. We had Mia Yim taking on Kaden Carter, two baby faces here. It's a short match. Kaden Carter gets a good bit of offense in. Ultimately, in the end, Mia Yim was able to recover and won after hitting the Protect Your Neck, and some good sportsmanship by both of them throughout the match. This set up the return of Chelsea Green, who wasn't getting it done on the main roster. She attacks Kaden Carter here. Robert Stone, of course, he's the former Robbie E from Impact Wrestling. He was out on the ramp where he's announced that he's building his own stable, but that he's referring to it as the Robert Stone Group. And then his first free agent acquisition is Chelsea Green. So we'll see where that goes. I was not a big fan of this personally. It just kind of came off flat to me. So we'll see where they go from this. After we got the second Tommaso Ciampa promo basically saying he wants his title back, It's our main event for the night. It is a fatal four-way to determine the number one contender for the NXT North American title. We had Keith Lee, Cameron Grimes, Dominic Dijakovic, and Damian Priest here in action. Great stuff. This was a super match. Outstanding here. Everything you expected. Every guy got a chance to shine. We had the right outcome ultimately in the end. Keith Lee did win, as he should have. He pinned Cameron Grimes after he hit this outstanding looking spirit bomb on him for the win. So it was announced that Keith Lee will be challenging for the NXT North American title in 2 weeks on the January 22nd episode of NXT. So that is NXT that took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. As for my pick of the week between the two shows, I thought NXT won easily for the week. I thought they were clearly the better show in AEW this week from start to finish. I thought AEW kind of fell flat. I thought the live audiences for both shows this week were kind of not as hyped up as you would normally see, but I thought NXT from start to finish had the better action. MJF promo on AEW Dynamite was great. I don't know, a lot of the other stuff just kind of came over, kind of okay or kind of flat. I thought NXT had good stuff from start to finish, so NXT is my pick of the week. So through 13 episodes, and I don't count the January 1st episode because NXT was a best of show and it was not live. Through 13 episodes, I have NXT with 8 selections and AEW with 5 selections. And let's very quickly go over the ratings. They're in for both shows. AEW did top NXT in the ratings again this week. AEW this week did 947,000 viewers, and NXT did 721,000 viewers, so AEW won by 31% according to Showbuzz Daily. AEW ranked 6th in the cable top 150, while NXT ranked 55th. AEW ranked 36th in total viewership, and NXT ranked 45th. AEW was down just 2% last week compared to last week's number of 967, while NXT was up, but they only did 548,000 viewers last week on their taped episode in their best of. So AEW did a 0.36 in the 18 to 49 demo, and NXT did a 0.19 last week, and they won by 89% in the demo this week. While AEW did the same 0.36 last week, NXT did a 0.15, so NXT was up but still lost pretty badly. So through 14 weeks, and the December 25th episode is not counted because NXT ran unopposed that night. AEW has 10 wins overall has 10 weekly wins. NXT has 3 weekly wins, and we had the 1 tie as well. So that's what we had there as far as ratings. Let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite moment from Wednesday's wrestling action was. We'll see you the next time on the next Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz here on YouTube. Bye for now, everyone.